All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makar Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. This lesson is going to be about how everyone's worshipping Babylon the Great, right? Everyone apart from the elect, that is. Everyone apart from the elect to the nation of Israel is worshipping Babylon the Great in one way or another. But Yahweh is going to destroy that. Yahweh is going to destroy that place, man. This particular place, Babylon the Great, which is America, by the way, that everyone believes in, Yahweh is going to destroy that place. And when he destroys that place, he's going to make the world remember again that he exists, right? Now, as I've just said that, I'm thinking of where I can go to start this lesson off with, and I think I'll go to Revelation chapter 13. In fact, I was going to go Jeremiah, but I'll go Revelation 13. This is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 8. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of the life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. All these people on the earth ultimately worship this system that Esau is creating, by where you're free to sin, right? And you can get a better quality of life in this particular world by being a sinner, right? The more you act like Esau in this world, the more likely you are to be financially better off, to be more respected in this world, to have a better life. Your health might even be better in this wicked world. The more that you become wicked, man, because you're giving more into your flesh in that time. But the more that you actually start believing in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, right? And several of us know this. There's several people on earth that we know this, that the moment we started calling upon Yahweh Shai, our hairline receded more, our health started to deteriorate more. We went through things that were not normal, man. And different people will have a different amount of what they went through, right? But all of these things that people went through is ultimately their test for Yahweh to give them the knowledge that he's gave them, and to where they know certain things in the Bible, right? Don't assume, like a lot of people in this world, they assume that all we did to learn things in the Bible is just read the book, man. No, Yahweh's actually put us through things, man, that we know that he's put us through. Other people don't know the things that Yahweh's put us through, but we know though, right? Even among brothers themselves, I can look at like, for example, man, let's consider this in fact, man, and let me speak about the apostles of Great Millstone, right? The apostles of Great Millstone have been teaching the word longer than a lot of people that actually believe they're Hebrew Israelites now actually have even been alive, right? So what do you think that Dave went through in those decades plus of believing in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai? Especially when you consider what you've went through in your life, just being alive for that amount of time. Never mind teaching the words of Yahweh in that amount of time. You know what I mean? All the things that you could have went through in that time, they could have went through those things, and more than likely have went through those things a couple of times over. If you've went through those things just being alive that amount of time, how many times do you think that Dave went through those things teaching for that amount of time, right? And then the apostles of Great Millstone, like, but what about Yahweh Shai? How many things he went through, man, to attain the position of being the number one spirit of all creation, the number one creation of all the creations on the earth? What do you think he had to go through to get that, man? We couldn't have went through none of that, because me personally, man, if I would have been around these Edomites and they're spitting on me and all of this on me, I don't believe I would be the person that would be humble enough to allow Esau to be doing that to me in that way that it was written in the script. In fact, let me not even say I don't think, I know I wouldn't be. And guess what? No one else other than Yahweh Shai was able to do that, because he was chosen to do that, right? He was exalted with Yahweh's right hand to do that, man. Nobody else was. Paul said, I wish that myself could be accursed, but he wasn't accursed for his brethren, his kinsmen according to the flesh. Only Yahweh Shai was. Acts chapter 5 and verse 29, then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey God rather than men. The God of our fathers raised up Yahweh Shai, whom ye slew and hanged on a tree. Him hath Yahweh exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, for to give repentance to Israel and forgiveness of sins. Only Yahweh Shai. And when the world sees Yahweh Shai, right, who's going to be sent by Yahweh, then they're going to start to realize, man, the Heavenly Father exists, You know what I mean? They're going to know, man, Yahweh exists, because right now, this world's been blinded and they're drunk, right? They're drunken, some of them literally, and then they're drunken, but not with wine, they're drunk spiritually. Revelation chapter 1 and verse 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen. Right? This world going to see Yahweh Shai, man, they're going to be shook, man. We're going to be scared. Because that's going to be the realization that the way how they thought the world was does not exist. You know what I mean? When something new, like, really think about it, man. When was the last time that something new was actually shown to the world? Because when you consider the lockdown thing and all of that, that wasn't nothing new. That's happened before, just different, maybe to a smaller degree, but that's happened before on earth. But when has Yahweh ever sent his son to come through the skies? When has that ever happened on the earth? Never. In fact, you have to go back to the flood to have even a comparison of what Yahweh is going to do. You have to go and compare. You have to compare what Yahweh is about to do on the earth now to things that are written in the book of Genesis. You can compare it to the flood, and it's also compared to what he did to Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Now let me get this, because these people on this earth, man, they're drunk, man. The women are drunk, the men are drunk, right? Everyone down here is just confused and drunk and stumbling and staggering to try and be like an Edomite spiritually. You know what I mean? They're literally trying to copy Esau in all of his ways in the hopes that they can get a life like him. And that's why when you'll see all of these motivational speaker type jakes and they're talking and saying whatever they're saying and all of that, they're pretty much saying we want to do what Esau is doing, but with our own African American twist on it. You know what I mean? They're not saying no deep new thing. They're just saying we need to copy what he did. And then you've still got some jakes out here that still keep talking about community centers all the time. Oh man, we need community centers. Mate, why are y'all so gassed up off community centers, man? Why are you so gassed up off community centers? I really don't get it. Why jakes always, all the time, especially over here in the UK, they're always just talking about a community center? What's your problem? Why are you so fascinated with a community center, man? How many people can a community center really even have in there? How many? How about owning some industries? And then instead of your kid going and working in a community center, right, that you'd own an industry that your children work within what your industry is. And that's not going to happen in its fullness until the kingdom of heaven. Whereas in this world, people train up their children to get a job. Like, some people in this world actually think it's cool that this has happened, that LeBron James is now playing basketball with his son. No, that's a joke. And then you've got Mike Tyson, who is the youngest heavyweight champion of all times, which is a very high honor and a very difficult thing to do, man. That's very difficult to do. Some people don't even in this world end up winning their first title until they're in their 30s, but he won the heavyweight title when he was 20 years old. And then now who's he fighting? A YouTuber. You know what I mean? A YouTuber that would not have been able to go one round with him when he was 20 years old. Now, he wouldn't have been able to go one round with Mike Tyson, if we're being real. He wouldn't have been able to go one round with Mike Tyson when he was 17 years old, when he was 19 years old. Because Mike Tyson, from the age of like 19, I remember looking it up before, way back in the past, he had like 20 fights from the time he was 19 all the way up to the time he was 20 fights. So in a year and a bit span, he was having like almost 10 fights a year. So every single month, damn near, he was fighting, man. That's the kind of thing that people normally do when they're amateurs, not when they're professionals. But he was doing it as a professional, man. And yet he's now fighting like the world's a joke. You'd think that you'd be able to retire and just relax and just chill. And fair enough, I guess you can say, yeah, money's involved and all this. No. He should have more than enough money now to where that's a joke to him. Where he's like, nah, I'm not doing that bullshit. But this society robbed him of his money. And then it's accepted because everyone's spiritually drunk. People don't think, oh, nah, that's fucked up. They don't really care. Right now, let me get this. Okay, I thought it was in there in Jeremiah 50, it's 51. Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad. All these people are stumbling around, falling over themselves, right? Spiritually drunk, man. And like I personally have been a person that's like done that stupid UK binge drinking thing and all of that, right? And when you do that kind of lifestyle, right, there'll be certain days of your life that you might not remember, right? There'll actually be certain days of your life that you don't remember, and then you wake up and now you've offended this person, you've offended that person, people having to tell you back what you've did. And if you're humble, you accept and you be like, man, that's messed up, and you might apologize for things you did in that time, right? But if you're proud and still under the influence of that alcohol, which when you're spiritually drunk, you have to sober up with the washing of the word. But these people, they don't want to sober up. So when you're telling them, man, this and that, this and this, they're like, nah, forget that. I want some more alcohol. I'll tell you when I've had enough. You know what I mean? I ain't drunk. I'll tell you when I've had enough. This is my first drink. It's only 5%. This is my second drink. I need more shots. You know what I mean? And the shots of this world will be a quick hit of wickedness in this world, man. Or a quick adultery here, or a quick adultery there, or a quick covetousness here, or a quick stealing there, or I only stole one item on the self-checkout. That's not much. Or I only stole this person's phone charger. There wasn't nobody else around, so I thought it was just a freebie. Oh, that's not really stealing. Because there wasn't nobody on the plane to get it back anyway. Somebody else was going to steal it if I didn't steal it. You know what I mean? That's how people think. Oh, he doesn't treat his wife nice anyway. So if I sleep with her and commit adultery, well, he doesn't treat her right anyway. So it's not really adultery. Because if he was really treating his woman right, well, then she wouldn't have stepped to me, would she? You know what I mean? Oh, he's not my friend. So when I sleep with his wife, like, fuck him. I don't owe him nothing. He ain't my brethren. You know what I mean? That's the quick shots of a wickedness out here, man. This quick spiritual drunk, man. Just bam, and adultery here, they're more drunk now. You know what I mean? That's how this world is, man. Verse 8. In fact, verse 7, Babylon hath been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that have made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunk of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad. Right? And these people are bugged out, man. When they hear these words, man, they scoff. I don't recall one time from the first time I heard about these things that I ever scoffed, man. That I ever said openly with my mouth outwardly in the world, this ain't true, man. This is I've never said that because I don't believe that. Now, if it turns to where that ends up being the result, well, that would be because I'm not of the elect. But I don't believe that this is not the truth, man. I believe that this is the truth. But most people in this world, they think that this is a joke, right? And they trust in what they've been told, man. They believe in what Babylon's telling them. So if Babylon is saying that they can have a great life without having to believe in the Lord, they're going to believe that. John chapter 7 and verse 38. John chapter 7 and verse 38. He that believeth on me, as the scripture have said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. Now tell me that ain't going to sober you up. When people are drunk a lot of the time, being drunk, you get drunk quicker by being dehydrated. How can you get dehydrated if you've got rivers of living water flowing out of your belly? How can you get drunk like that with wine, spiritual, if you've got rivers of living water flowing through you? You ain't gonna be able to get drunk off. You ain't gonna be able to make drunken from hearing into this word. You're gonna be like, nah, I'm sober. And that's why the scriptures say things like, if it was possible, they should deceive the very elect, but they ain't gonna be able to deceive the very elect. Because the very elect has spiritually got rivers of living water flowing through their belly. So when that alcohol comes their way, right, even if someone tries to spike their drink spiritually, man, someone might try and spiritually spike their thing, Yahweh's going to stop that from taking place, man. People might be trying to set one of the elders up, set one of the brothers up to lose their job and to get them fired. No, you end up getting fired. And that person ends up getting your job. You know what I mean? People might try and set up a situation where they're going to deliberately try and crash into a brother's car. You know what I mean? They might try and deliberately crash into a brother's car, and they end up actually doing the crash, and then now they end up making that brother be better off financially. But their plan was to injure that brother. You think people won't? Oh, he's got a nicer car than me. How can that happen? Crash. You think people don't do stuff like that in this world? You think they don't? You think people ain't evil like that? Because I think that they definitely are. I think that people in this world definitely are evil like that. People be trying to spy on people's license plates and all kind of stuff. Just being demons, jealous of their next door neighbor's garden. Oh, he cut his lawn. Oh man, how comes he's got that lawnmower? You know what I mean? Like when they've got a lawnmower themselves to cut their own grass, but they're mad that somebody else has got a better lawnmower than them. Oh, he shops from Mercado. She shops from Mercado. I can only afford Asda's basic range. So what, man? Eat your food and shut your mouth, man. Know what I mean? Worry about your own shit. But that's how this world goes, man. Where people are just covetous, wicked, evil, and it's because they're drunk. They're all like Esau. Esau can never have enough. So because they're like him, they can't never have enough neither. They're never content to just make it of their own self. So then you've got Jakes in the world and heathens in the world that when they see like I remember the story where you had the one Jake that he bought a fake watch and went to one of these nice London restaurants, right? And the security guard spotted the watch on his wrist, right? And then called his boys and was like, "There's a guy in here that we can rob," and they stabbed him and he died. And they did all of that murder for a fake watch that wasn't even real. You understand? And then you have to think, well, why does a security guard for a nice restaurant even know about that brand of watch to a certain degree? Like it wasn't like a Rolex, it was some like weird brand that you would have to really study to find out what that's worth. But more than likely he can't afford one of his own. Because if you can afford those things of your own, well, then you actually will feel sorry for stealing that kind of stuff from people. Because you all know how hard it is to earn that. And then you can tell that the brother must have looked like he can own it for real, because they didn't assume it was fake when they saw it on his wrist. He looked to them as the kind of person that could own that. And then most people don't even know nothing about what's real and what's fake anyway, because I'll tell a story, man. I've bought a fake watch before, man. Not no crazy one like that, but I've been on a holiday before, right? And then you get the tourist guy comes up to you and tries to sell you one of these watches and that. And I got an Armani one, right? I got an Armani fake watch. It held up until it got hot in one summer, and then it faded out and stopped working, man. But when people used to see that thing on my wrist, they used to go, "Oh man, wow, that's a nice watch. That's a nice watch." And then I would say to them, "It could be fake for all you know." And they'd be talking about, "Nah, it ain't fake. I used to work in a watch shop. I know the difference between real and fake." And I'd be like, "No, you obviously don't, because it's fake." You know what I mean? It's actually fake. But you in this world, because people are spiritually drunk, man, whether you get the nice thing or like, you have to be watching over your shoulder. You can't even have nothing too nice. Like people will be like, "Oh man, I've worked hard, I've grinded hard, I've got myself this nice house and that." And you'll see people with these big houses with the gated thing on the corner of the road and that. But they now become a target to thieves, because people are spiritually drunk and they become like Esau. Sirach chapter 10 and verse 1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. But Esau's not a prudent man. Because if Esau was to say to people, "Okay, forget all the sin and keep God's laws," right? People are going to if people would actually start listening to him initially, right? If he made it look illegal to sin. But then when they look at Esau, they're going to be like, "But you're sinning though." And then they're going to realize that he's the man of sin. That he's telling people to do something that he cannot do. He cannot be a good person. And this might sound like, "Oh, nah, I know some good." Nah, those people that you're seeing are actually trying to live like how you're living. Those people are Israelites that look like Edomites. An actual real Edomite cannot keep these things. He can't do it. He can't truly keep them. He doesn't want to. It's against his spirit. It's actually against who he is as a person to keep these kind of things. And let me get a scripture on that. Right? "Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness." Isaiah chapter 26 and verse 10. "Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness, he will deal unjustly and will not behold the majesty of Yahweh. Right? This world, man, as it is, he's got people that are believing that them people over there in the land are the real Israelites, and the world still ain't righteous. The world still ain't righteous. They ain't trying to, more of them are turning away from keeping the laws. They're actually trying to push them on us, according to what Christianity would say, than that we're Gentiles. Over there in the land of Israel, whenever one of these street preachers try and tell them anything, they're spitting on them, slapping women in their mouth, going upside their head, sending out their little rats to try and chase them off and that, throwing stones at them and all kind of stuff, right? And then people look at them and be like, oh man, these children of Israel, they just still like what they were in the scriptures. No, they're not the children of Israel, dummy. Because if you know what Paul said that the children of Israel have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge. Those people hate the Lord. Those people don't even believe that the Messiah has came yet, according to their prophecy scale. So how are they the chosen? How? And yet you people are still so desperate for them to be the people that you look towards when you're looking at the prophecies of Israel in the lens of the scriptures. You're still trying to force yourself to believe that the things that Israel are going to do in the scriptures are going to be happening with them. That you can clearly see that Deuteronomy 30:1 is being fulfilled by people that call themselves Hebrew Israelites. They're all over different places in the world talking about the curses of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and Leviticus, the 26th chapter. It's them doing that. Those other people want sympathy for all the evil things that happen to them, to the point where they've made a word to try and show how you can't even say anything about them. To where they've got access to cancel people. But why would you be able to do that if you're under curses? Why would you be able to do? Where in the Bible does it say you'd be able to do that? But nobody wants to consider these things. They're just like, oh well. They don't want to speak about it, man, because it starts getting real. Then they can laugh at us saying we're Hebrew Israelites, right? But they don't laugh about nothing else that goes on in this world. They don't laugh and question nothing else. They believe they can be an Israelite spiritually, but they don't think that there's any chance that we can be literal Israelites. Zero chance of that, because they've just got it fixed in their mind that we're black. You know what I mean? A so-called black man can become a woman, no problem, no questions asked. If all the brothers right now that have ever been scoffed in their life, right, when we say we're a Hebrew Israelite, if we was to say, you know what, I'm a woman, you know that this world would probably find some funding somewhere to make us really start having to be like, yeah, and I'm gonna help you even look like one too. You know what I mean? If you was to say, if brothers was just to say they look like they're a woman, but they still look exactly the same as they are right now, but they just say that they're a woman to get a better job or something like that, or some stupidness or something like that, or to get some funding, but then they just do it the deceptive way, and they just now join MMA, and they're just putting women in rear naked chokes, but they still got a wife and everything, but just on paper they say they're a woman. No one's going to question it, and they'd even find money somewhere to try and make them really look like one. They were like, nah, you're believing this. Like, we found some fun. We've started a program here, and we're gonna really help you go through with this, Jamal. We're gonna really make you go through. Your name can be Jaquanda. You know what I mean? Janice. You know what I mean? These wicked freaks are gonna help you go through that. But when we say we're children of Israel, oh nah, prove it. And then at the same time, in another breath, they'll say nobody can prove it. So why are you asking us to do something that you know we can't do then? Well, shouldn't you ask us through the Bible why we're saying it? And we can prove it through that because of the curses. And nobody else on the earth does that. Nobody else on the earth says that they believe that they are the Israelites because of curses, and it starts to speak about curses and say this curse is happening to us here, this curse here, that curse there. At best, you people can try and say, oh, these things that you're saying happened to you were fulfilled already in this time, but you can't prove that that wasn't us. You know what I mean? You can say that Deuteronomy 28 and 68 was fulfilled in the book of Josephus as much as you want. How do you know we didn't fulfill it? Because we've got something in more modern times, the Atlantic slave trade, that matches that same kind of thing too. So how do you know that the Atlantic slave trade wasn't a fulfillment of Deuteronomy 28, 68, and the thing that you're mentioning in Josephus that happened thousands of years ago? How can you prove that both things didn't happen to so-called black people? How can you prove that? You know what I mean? You can't. You can't prove it. So leave us alone, man. Verse 8, Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. And that's why this kingdom is going to fall out of the hands of Esau and into the hands of the children of Israel. And it begins with Yahushua, and it also really is going to start being grained into these people's mind when Babylon the Great is destroyed, man. And now I'm going to go Revelation 18. Right? Revelation 18, man. This is Revelation chapter 18 and verse 1. And after these things I heard another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. And what's that going into? That's going into how the country America is going to be so destroyed, man. Right? That when you end up seeing what it looks like afterwards, there ain't going to be nothing that can survive on there apart from certain types of animals. Right? And for example, man, if you've ever seen a demolition site, right, when a building gets demolished and they don't demolish it to put nothing on there, right? They just demolish it because they don't want people to climb in there and like live in there. They're trying to get rid of homeless people and like drug addicts from going in there or whatever, right? And there's a few places around where I am that's happened to old pubs, old people's homes that have been demolished, right? And the only thing that's on those construction sites now will be like some cats that have climbed over the fence or something like that, and insects and bushes have grown over where all that stuff used to be, to where you can't even, if you hadn't known what was there before, you wouldn't know what used to be there. And that's what's going to happen to America. Right now, if you used to go over America with a plane and look down, you'd be like, wow. Or you used to go over with a helicopter, you'd be like, wow, there's so much there. You got an Eiffel Tower that looks down, it looks like a scaled down version of the Eiffel Tower in Paris. You've got Sin City, you've got Miami. Wow, look at those beaches. Wow, look at all of those lovely, beautiful people running and jogging. Wow. You got New York. Oh, wow, isn't it amazing? Look at the tall buildings, right? You got all these things, you got all these things going on over there. But after this destruction that's being spread about and being spoken about in Revelation 18, you ain't going to see none of that stuff. All of that stuff's going to be gone. Because people have worshipped that place, man. And Yahweh's going to take away all of their worship and show that that place that you people trusted in don't mean nothing. That place is an abomination to Yahweh. Verse 3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. So all the people on this earth have drunk of the wine of Babylon the Great, right? And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. So they were bartenders, man, right? Babylon the Great was a supplier, but the kings of the earth, all the other kings of the other nations, they became the bartenders, man. You know what I mean? When the person, just giving the person a double, not even asking them, single, triple, they'll be like, flip it. I'll give you a triple shot, man. I'll give you a triple on that. You can have a triple of it. Drunk. Just making their people drunk, man. Oh, you don't need to wear modest apparel. Wear whatever you want to wear. Drunk. You know what I mean? You don't need to give a land Sabbath. Just keep growing crops all the time. Drunk. You don't need to give people, you know what I mean? Make people have to work all the time and then not have nothing. Drunk. Don't give the people no kind of access to no kind of disposable income. Just make them have to work. Drunk. You know what I mean? It's okay to be a LG3T rainbow activist, alphabeting and rainbow in the whole scene. Drunk. It's okay to sacrifice your children unto Baal. But we'll call it a medical procedure. We'll call it healthcare. You know what I mean? And then that your babies that get dragged out of your stomachs, no, and then they get cremated in bulk. Oh, nah, that's not wicked. That's just chemical wastage. You're drunk. Right? Verse 3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. So the merchants of the earth, right, are suppliers for that great bar That great nightclub called America, man. That great place filled with lust, disgusting acts, wickedness, souls of men, right? Anything you want, any way you want it, you can get it in America, man. Or you want to be an alphabeting and rowing person, an alphabeting and rainbowing person, welcome to America. Or you want to be an adulterer, welcome to America. You want to be a drug dealer, welcome to America. You want to be a movie star, welcome to America. You want to be a basketball player, welcome. Soccer player, welcome. Hockey, welcome. NFL, welcome. Major League Baseball, welcome. Anything you want to be. Oh, you want to be a TV actor, welcome. Or you want to write a book, welcome. Or you want to just be a demon in general, welcome to America. You want to be a bartender, welcome. We got New York. Oh, you're going to have such a great life in New York, being a bartender or whatever the hell you want to be, like that, whatever you want. Or you want to be a YouTuber, welcome to America, man. Anything you want to be, any way you want to give it up, any way you want to get drunk, you can go to America and drink till your heart's content, man. And I'm on about spiritually and physically in this regard, with this particular way I'm saying it now. And all the other nations of the earth are all helping America make the world drunk. They're supplying it with things to make it spiritual alcohol. You know what I mean? So where everyone's resources on the earth is pretty much going to help America be the golden cup in Yahweh's hand, which Yahweh made them have the access to do that anyway. Verse 4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. And that begins spiritually, man. So when we see people trying to give us this drunk alcohol, man, we're like, nah, I'm sobering up, man. I gone cold turkey, man. I gone teetotal, I believe is another way you can say it, man. I'm teetotal, man. I don't drink no alcohol now. And I'm not talking about literal, because we might drink alcohol. I'm talking about spiritual alcohol, and we're like, nah, I don't want none of that, man. I don't want to be drunk. I don't want to spiritually wake up with vomit on my shoulder. You know what I mean? And forgetting what day I've had. I don't want to spiritually wake up and see recordings of me acting like a damn fool. You know what I mean? Spiritually or physically, man. Verse 5, her sins have reached unto heaven, and God have remembered her iniquities. God knows how this place, Babylon the Great, has made all the earth drunk, man. And when he destroys it, right, then the people are going to begin to sober up, man, because their fix and their fill of alcohol spiritually is going to be taken away from them, man. It's going to be taken away. The heat from that fire is going to really make these people realize, damn. Like, just imagine, man, if there's a local pub that used to get everyone drunk, right, and everyone would always be on the Friday and Saturday, right? Can't wait, mate. I can't wait. Thank God it's Friday. Like, you know how these bug outs say in the world. And they just can't wait to get down to that pub or that tavern or that flipping nightclub or that cocktail bar. You know what I mean? Oh, mate, I've wondered there's going to be some fit birds there, mate. Fit as fat, mate. Just can't wait to get there. Can't wait to get a wine. You know what I mean? I can't wait for some woman to wine up on him, and you know what I mean? Some woman can't wait for some man, for some Benjamite with dreads going down to his ankles to wine up on him. Come here, baby. Clicking his fingers as he shakes one hip to one side and shakes one hip to the other side, and that just can't wait. The women can't wait for men to buy them drinks. You know what I mean? And for men to be lusting after them in their tight clothes. Well, if that pub got burnt down, people start getting sad, and that happens in areas, man, where their people's favorite pub, it gets closed down. The local pub around the area gets closed down. That people can't handle that, and that's what's going to happen in a way greater scale with America. Verse 6, reward her even as she has rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. And that's what America thinks in its deception, man. Babylon the Great. Oh, we're never for this. We're going to keep making the world drunk, man. They love our alcohol. We got all these people drunk now. We just need to keep it. It's just you know what I mean? We're making it hand over fist. These people love our alcohol. They're just drunk, man. They can't get enough of this. That's how people think, man. They actually think that it's going to just stay like that forever. No, it's not. There's going to become a change in this. There's going to come a time where it's not going to go that way, and the whole country is going to, that whole land is going to be destroyed by the Lord, man. Because everyone's worshipping Babylon the Great, right? But Yahweh is going to destroy it, and that's what this lesson's about. Verse 7, how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. Why is she going to be burned with fire? Because all the nations that she made drunk are going to finally realize that they're drunk. They're going to realize that, man, well, while we was drunk, you did a lot of wickedness to us. While you had us spiritually drunk, you was doing a lot of madness to us, man. Because people don't like it when they're drunk, right? They are happy when they're drunk. But if they find out that someone tried to take advantage when they were drunk, when they sober up, they take vengeance. You know what I mean? They take vengeance, man. That's what happens in the spirit, in the literal sense of when people are drunk, man. If someone was drunk and they find out that someone robbed their house when they were drunk and they know exactly where that person's at, when they're sober, they're going to go find that person, man. They'll be like, nah, you ain't doing that to me. Or they're going to, at the least, they're going to call the cops, call the police or whatever. They ain't going to just accept that. And these nations are not going to accept that Esau had them spiritually drunk, in particular the land of Babylon the Great, and they're going to shoot it with fire, man. And even other Edomite nations that have also been made spiritually drunk, they're going to shoot their things at Babylon the Great, man. And people can say it's not going to happen all they want. You think that these things were made for no reason? How can you accept that there's going to come a day on earth that's way more scary than any other day that's ever existed, and accept and acknowledge that ICBMs exist, and then think that Yahweh is not going to use them as part of the day of the destruction? If you think like that, you're an idiot. And I have to speak it like that because that's what you are. If you actually believe that there's going to come a day that's more scary than any other day that God's ever made on the earth, right? And that's so scary that even according to this Christianity doctrine, is going to require people to be, as they say, raptured, right? Then why would you not believe that the ICBMs are literally going to be used? And then if you think that they're going to be used, well, what parts of prophecy is it talking about then? Where in prophecy can you read about them kind of things? We can find places where we can say that that's talking about that. Zechariah 14 and 12 for starters. In 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter, where it speaks about arrows being shot from one end of the earth to the other. What arrow can literally do that? Obviously, it's not talking about literal arrows, but really, if you consider that the thing that shoots an ICBM is a bow, then the ICBM itself is an arrow, isn't it? Verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is Yahweh who judgeth her, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail and lament for her when they see the smoke of her burning. Because at the same time, they've had a love-hate relationship with America. They hate America for what it did to their land, right? The kings of the earth and that. They hate, oh man, when I look at my people, we're actually destroyed them, we're through. The women ain't acting like what they used to act like, but then at the same time, because the love of the money is root of all evil, these people love money, man. They're like, okay, it was wicked, but it had its good parts because we at least made money from there. And that just goes to show that all these other nations are wicked too. Even among the literal children of Israel, there's people that are wicked, and they didn't care about selling their own people over in order to get rich neither. They didn't care either, man. Verse 9, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived delicious with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is that judgment comes. So nobody ain't going to be trying to go and save that place. No, it can't be saved. The place can't be saved, man. It's done. The destiny of that place has always been this. Now, that's what people don't understand. Babylon the Great was always going to be destroyed. At the time when this prophecy was first wrote down and all these things was wrote down, Babylon the Great did not even exist. So the moment when America did become a country, which I believe was 1776, right? From that moment on, that place has been destined to receive this judgment. meaning that it was prophecy. It had to happen. They had to do all the things that they did to be worthy of the judgment that they're going to receive. Verse 10, standing afar off for fear of a judgment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is that judgment come. 1 hour is all it's going to take, man. 1 hour. The place was able to do all that wickedness, and Yahweh was able to just take it down in 1 hour. Yahweh is going to show truly how strong he is and how great and mighty he is when he destroys that place, man. Just like how he did it in times past with Egypt. Verse 11, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn. And in fact, you know what? Since I mentioned Egypt, man, when you read about the Egyptians, they had enemies, right? But none of their enemies took them down. It was Yahweh that took them down, right? They was nervous of the Israelites because they was like, well, when the Israelites go among, the Israelites might join unto our enemies. And I'm going to read it right now. That just sprung to my mind. Exodus chapter 10 and verse 8. Now there arose up a new king over Egypt who knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, Behold, the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when they falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies. So the Egyptians had enemies, right? And fight against us. And so get them up out of the land. So the Egyptians had enemies, man. They had enemies. But did any of those enemies take them down? No. Yahweh took them down. America's got enemies. And Yahweh is going to use the enemies to take America down. But had it not be, if it was not for Yahweh Shai coming back also in that time, the infrastructure of what America's created with all its weapons and stuff like that, that would end up being the thing that rises out of the destruction. It would still end up being the American way and American mentality that would rise up out of that time period, man, of all that destruction that they also want to take place. They also want the same similar kind of things as what Yahweh's already prophesied to bring. They believe that kind of stuff is also going to help their society. They believe that destroying certain things and destroying certain ideas is going to help their plans. But that's because Yahweh needs them to believe that. But they're thinking that, oh no, that's because we believe it. And that's why they're going towards it, because Yahweh's made that be part of their plans. He's put the idea for their plans to involve the plans that he's got. But when certain parts of Yahweh's plan, right, come to pass, Esau is going to think, okay, our plans came to pass. Now it's going to go this way, but they're going to realize, no, it's going this way that Yahweh wanted it to go. And then they're going to begin to know, man. And if you want to read about that, you can. In fact, I'll read it real quick, man. I'll read it real quick. Revelation chapter 6 and verse 13. And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a great fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And that's going into the ICBMs, man. They're going to look like stars falling down on the earth. Now, people can say, oh, nah, it says stars. That's not talking about that. If it was talking about that, it would have said it. But if you want to think that, that's fine. Verse 14, and the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together. What's that talking about then? Our teaching tells us that it's talking about a mushroom cloud. What does your teachers tell you? What did your teachers tell you that's talking about? And every mountain and island removed out of her place. What's going to cause that? The earthquakes that ICBMs can produce. And the kings of the earth and the great men and the rich men and the chief captains and the mighty men and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. So they're going to end up finding out that Yahweh exists when this destruction comes, man, which is things that to a certain degree they also want, man. They also want this war to take place, but they just think that they can make it not go as far as it's going to go. No, it's going to go that far, man. It's going to go further than y'all thought. And then when that destruction comes, that's what Yahweh Shai has been waiting for, to get the go-ahead from Yahweh to come and save the elect. And that can be read about in 2 Ezra the 13th chapter in more detail, which I'm not going to go to in this lesson. I'm actually not going to go to that one unless Yahweh puts it on me to want to do it. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 11, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. Not because, oh man, we love America. Not because they've got a MAGA hat on their head. You know what I mean? Not because they miss Kamala Harris. You know what I mean? Not because all them kind of people probably won't even be getting destroyed in that destruction. They're going to be on a bunker somewhere and escape. And Yahweh Shai and the angels and the elected nation of Israel in a new state are going to meet those kind of people that have been initiated in that wicked world. They're going to meet those people and see them, man. Verse 12, the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones, exactly, they helped make that nightclub, if you want to call it that. That's the analogy I've been using to describe America in this lesson, man. They've been making that nightclub America beautified. America's been like, man, we need some way to make it seem even more to get even more people into our nightclub so we can get them more drunk. And they'll be like, I got some gold. So if I bring some gold to you, then you'll be able to trick people into thinking at this place and get them drunk. They've been helping bring the clients in, man. You know what I mean? All these other nations in the world, they've been helping bring their customers, man. But they've been helping decorate that place. And of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and of fine wood and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour. They've been bringing food there, you know what I mean? And beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. They've been bringing people over there knowing that Esau's going to use them for ritual, man. Now, people would say, oh, nah, that's ridiculous. No, it's not ridiculous. Because there's people that have made documentaries about that kind of, about those kind of things. And they say that one of the main places that this stuff takes place is America. They've said it, man. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that recent movie that Jim Caviezel was in about this kind of thing, even when he was talking with a guy that actually worked in that industry, he was saying that, oh, yeah, America is actually one of the main places. The Americas is actually one of the main places that some of this stuff goes on. Verse 14, and the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and good are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. There's not going to be no way where you can think, you know what, if we was able to just drop a brick here, no, there's not going to be no ability to do construction over in America. The place is going to be unconstructible, man. Unbuildable. It's not going to be able to get builded back up, man. It's going to be a land on the earth that's different to everywhere else. It's going to be diverse to everywhere else on the earth, man. If it's going to be the complete opposite of the land of Israel. The land of Israel is going to be like it says in the scriptures, man, Ezekiel 37th chapter, I believe, or 36th chapter, it says that the land of Israel is going to become back like again. The God, in fact, you know what, since I've said that, I'm going to try and find that part, man. Maybe it's 37. Okay. Ezekiel chapter 36 and verse 35. And they shall say, this land that was desolate is become like the Garden of Eden, and the waste and desolate and ruined cities are become fenced and are inhabited. And that's the complete opposite that's going to happen to Babylon the Great, man, which is Esau's place. And that's spiritual, because Esau himself is going to become like Sodom and Gomorrah, and he's going to become like Babylon the Great, done, not existent no more, man. Whereas Israel's place is going to become like the Garden of Eden. The land of Israel is going to become like the Garden of Eden. The land of Esau is going to become like the land of Sodom and Gomorrah. Am I lying about that? Am I making that up, or does the scriptures literally say that the land of Esau is going to become like Sodom and Gomorrah? I'm going to find it right now. Okay, Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 17. Also Edom shall be a desolation, everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof, as in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, and the neighboring cities thereof, saith Yahweh, no man shall abide in it, neither shall a son of man dwell in it. The land of Esau, which is now going into America also as well, is going to be destroyed, man. They claim that for themselves, and it's going to get the same destruction, man. Because the actual land of Esau man, as in the land of Edom, that's getting given unto the Israelites. So we know it's not talking about that place. No, he's talking about America. The actual land of Esau is going to be given into the hands of the children of Israel. Let me prove that, right? Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 19. And they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau, and they of the plain, the Philistines. So the Israelites are going to actually own the land of Esau. They of the south, which those of the south are Judah. The main tribe of the south of Israel is Judah. So the tribe of Judah is going to be owning the land of Esau. Know what I mean? They're going to, man. But people will say, oh, nah, well, whatever, man. You Christians still have to still explain what you think these scriptures are talking about. You can't just you ain't going to be able to just keep saying what we're talking about don't exist and what we're saying ain't real. You still got to explain these scriptures too. They're still in the book that you say you believe in, right? People are starting to waken. They're starting to sober up. So it's going to get to where you can't just say, oh, what they're saying don't mean that. Because people are going to start saying, okay, pastor, what does it mean? And you ain't going to be able to keep saying, I don't know yet, but it don't mean what they're saying. You ain't going to be able to say that because people are going to get itching ears and they're going to start listening to the Israelites talk and they're going to realize that you Christians don't know what you're talking about, man. And they're going to start getting on the internet and looking into things and they're going to realize, damn, these people are telling the truth. And then you're going to start realizing that in your churches, your congregation are going to start asking you questions that you have to be studied to ask such questions. And then you're going to start getting angry with them because they want to know the Bible more. And that's going to make them turn away from your churches and come to the truth, man. Because there's people that are of the elected nation of Israel everywhere on the earth, in every single doctrine that exists on the earth, man. And when they're wising up for real, they're going to escape from being drunk from you people that have helped make them drunk, man. Which is what a lot of you false prophet pastors have did, man. Help people be drunk. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 14, and the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchants of the earth, which were made rich by her, shall stand afar off for fear of her torment, for fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen. They're gonna be like, man, that place was beautiful though, because there is beauty in the land of America. When you see some of the ways how people live over there, you're like, raw. That place is nice, you know. You'll see like these boats and all that. The people living on, like, doing all these things on these boats, like just living out. And you'll be like, you see some of these houses, and be like, man, that house is nice. You know what I mean? You'll see somebody like in the UK. If you compare a beach in the UK and a beach in America, it's completely different. A beach in the UK, you'll get a damn hard seashell up the bottom of your foot, man. If you go Bournemouth or something, and you try and walk on that beach barefoot, mate, you're gonna get some shells, broken glass, all kind of stuff go up your foot bottom, man. It ain't nice. It's somewhat nice. Some of the houses that might be outside of there, but it's not the same as Miami though. The weather ain't the same. You know what I mean? It ain't the same, bro. Not even close. But the American land, it was actually beautiful until it was stolen from the Edomites, man. I mean, stolen by the Edomites. They stole it from the tribe of Gad, the tribe of Issachar, you know, tribe of Reuben. They stole that place, man. Asher, Ephraim, they stole it, man. And they've continued to keep destroying it more and more and used it to make people drunk. It's spiritually Sodom because of the wickedness that takes place there. And it's spiritually Egypt because that became the new captivity zone or the new captivity headquarters where most of the tribes of Israel are. Which is exactly what Egypt did to the Israelites. It had all the tribes of Israel in captivity too. It had a member of every single tribe, but Egypt literally had all the tribes of Israel, every single Israelite in captivity. Whereas in this current captivity, there's Israelites in the main place, which is the North country, North America, but they're also scattered everywhere else too. Because I'm not in America, and I believe I'm an Israelite, and there's other brothers that are living in this same island too of the UK, and they're Israelites, and they don't live in America. I've never been to America in my life. Some of them might have been, but I've never been there. You know what I mean? I've never been to America. There's brothers in France. There's brothers in Australia. They're still in captivity too. And Yahweh is going to save every single Israelite of the elect from everywhere that they're scattered, man. And it begins with this place, Babylon the Great, being destroyed. Verse 17. In fact, verse 16. And saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness, for in 1 hour is she made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for Yahweh have avenged you on her. And we ain't going to mourn when that place gets judgment, man. We're going to be happy. And let me get this scripture quick too, and then I'll end the lesson. Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 3. And it shall come to pass in the day that Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from thy hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve, which is all the stuff that took place in America, man. Mainly, right? That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon the Great, which is Esau, and say, how have the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. We're going to be looking at that land of America and be like, yo, I thought you thought that it was going to just be blessed, man. How has it ceased? How are you not in that land no more? How has that place been destroyed since you thought you was invincible? How? You know what I mean? Yahweh have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. What's the ultimate staff? What's the staff of the wicked on this earth right now? That golden cup that they had in their hand, man. America's the golden cup. America's the staff of the wicked, man. Really? Right? America's that scepter that these Edomites have used to rule the earth, man. That's the foundation of its strength, really, man. That's where all of its spiritual works that have gave it the power to be able to influence the world in the way that it has have came from. Whether you're talking about spiritually or whether you're even talking about the sword, which is ultimately strengthened spiritually, man. The sword that Esau has been strengthened spiritually. And that's why when Yahweh takes away the spirit of that, it's not going to be able to work. According to when you read Isaiah the 47th chapter, it's not going to be able to work no more, man. Doesn't it say when these Edomites try and fight against Yahweh, they're going to be scared, and yet they're still going to fight? They're going to know that their sword doesn't even have the strength to overcome what Yahweh is going to be like. Yet they're still going to fight just so that they can get destroyed, man. Verse 6, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing, and that all begins with America getting its judgment, man. And on that, I'm going to end the lesson, man. And hopefully, for somebody out there, this lesson has like helped them understand the significance of America in Bible prophecy, man. Because that place has been a spiritual, like, hub of wickedness for Esau to strengthen himself, man. And on that, I'm going to say, Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. Shalom to the nation of Israel. Shalom.